If you forget names almost instantly, even when you genuinely care, that doesn't automatically mean you're rude, shallow, or bad with people. Sometimes it means your mind is busy doing something deeper. Sometimes it means you don't meet people with a blank screen. You meet them with 10 tabs open, 3 emotional predictions running, and a nervous system already scanning the room. And that's why the name slips first. Not because the person didn't matter. Because your brain decided something else mattered more. Picture this. You're at a party, a meeting, a friend of a friend dinner. Someone smiles, says their name, and you say it back like you've got it. But 10 seconds later, it's gone. Now you're half listening, half panicking, praying someone else says it out loud again. You become weirdly strategic. More eye contact, less name usage, more, "Hey, you!" And beneath that tiny social mistake is a surprisingly heavy feeling. Why can you remember random song lyrics from 2016, but not the name of the person standing right in front of you? Here's what's really happening. For a lot of people, forgetting names easily isn't a character flaw. It's an adaptation. It can suggest your attention prioritizes mood over labels, energy over facts, threat over detail, meaning over packaging. Your brain often isn't asking, "What is this person called?" It's asking, "Are they safe? What do they want? How am I coming across? Do I belong here?" So in this video, you're going to see 5 hidden mechanisms behind name forgetting that make a lot more sense than people realize. Because you're not careless. You're often processing life in a different order. Number 1. You remember feeling before data. When someone introduces themselves, your brain may latch onto their vibe faster than their label. Their warmth, their tension, their status, their weird little pause before speaking. It's like walking into a room and noticing the lighting before the furniture. The emotional atmosphere hits first, and the name gets buffered somewhere fragile. So you're not inattentive, you're impression-led. You remember the energy signature, not the file name. And that sounds harmless. But here's where it gets interesting. The more emotionally loaded the moment is, the more likely the actual name disappears. Number 2. Social pressure quietly erases working memory. The moment you realize you should remember the name, your brain often gets even worse at holding it. Because now it's not just a name, it's a test. And pressure is terrible for recall. You're trying to be present while also monitoring yourself from the outside. Do I seem confident? Was that awkward? Should I say their name now? That self-surveillance eats the exact mental bandwidth the name needed. It's like trying to save a file on a laptop that already has 20 apps open. So you're not stupid, you're overloaded. And the people who look calm and polished can actually be the ones running the loudest internal commentary. But here's the part people miss. Sometimes the forgetting started long before the introduction. Number 3. Your nervous system may treat new people like new variables. If you're even mildly overstimulated, new social information becomes harder to store cleanly. Noise, faces, movement, expectations, small talk, background music, your own thoughts. It all competes. And names are strangely delicate. They don't attach well when your system is busy scanning for tone, threat, or unpredictability. Picture your attention like a phone battery on low power mode. It stops supporting non-essential features. In that moment, a name can feel non-essential compared to reading the room. So you're not socially hopeless, you're perceptually flooded. And that can create a weird paradox, because some of the most perceptive people are also the worst at remembering names on first contact. Number 4. You may encode stories, not labels. Some minds naturally remember people through context. The woman with the silver rings who loves horror movies. The guy who works in UX and laughs with his whole chest. The cousin's friend who moved here after a breakup. If that's you, your memory works like a playlist, not a spreadsheet. You store associations. You store scenes. You store emotional tags. But a disconnected proper noun? That can slide right off. Most people think remembering names means you care more.
Actually, sometimes it just means your memory style is more literal.
You, on the other hand, may remember a person in 4K and still lose the caption. So you're not disrespectful, you're narrative-based. And that becomes even more obvious when dopamine gets involved. Number 5. Your brain is drawn to what feels rewarding, urgent, or unfinished. Names are often neutral. They don't sparkle. They don't answer a mystery. But if a conversation becomes intense, funny, attractive, awkward, or slightly threatening, your brain may prioritize the emotionally charged part and let the plain detail drop. Reward systems do this all the time. They tag what feels alive. The name, unless repeated or attached to meaning, can get treated like packaging after the product is already opened. It's like watching a movie trailer so gripping you forget the title. So you're not flaky, you're salience-driven. You remember what lit up your system. And once you see that, the whole trait starts looking different. Here's the beautiful contradiction. You can forget someone's name and still remember the exact sadness in their eyes. You can blank on the label and still sense the loneliness, the ego, the kindness, the mask. You can miss the surface detail and catch the invisible truth. That doesn't make you careless. It makes you tuned in differently. A little sideways, a little deeper. Sometimes the people who forget names the fastest are the same people who notice what everyone else edits out. But there is a caution here. If you lean too hard on this trait, it can become an escape hatch. You can start telling yourself, "That's just how I am," when really you're rushing, dissociating from discomfort, or staying half present because full presence feels too vulnerable. And that's where adaptation quietly turns into avoidance. Not always, but sometimes. The gentler reframe is this: your brain has a pattern, not a prison. If names matter to you, attaching them to a face, a detail, or a feeling can make them land more easily. Not because you need fixing, because attention likes anchors. So maybe the real story isn't that you forget people. Maybe it's that your mind enters human moments through side doors, through mood, through meaning, through subtle thread and invisible texture. You don't always catch the name first, but you often catch the soul of the moment. And in a world obsessed with clean labels, that kind of perception is its own strange intelligence. So tell me in the comments, team forgets names or team remembers every name forever? And if this hit a little too close, watch the next video on why you replay conversations in your head for hours, because the same hidden pattern is usually behind both.